Hi, all right, today we are going to go over what to do when you have a gap in coverage. Well, it's technically not a gap. The situation would be specifically, let's say you have coverage or you have an employee that has coverage that starts May 1st and they don't have an ID card yet, and that employee needs to go to the doctor or they have a surgery, they need to go see a pharmacist, they need to pick up a prescription. That is the situation I'm talking about. I see this every day, all the time. But before I get to all of that and what to do and what the steps are and how to speed things up for you as the HR person or you as the employee, before I get to all that, I want to go over a quick disclaimer. I am not your broker. I'm not an attorney. I'm not a financial advisor. I am a woman who has worked in the insurance industry for over 20 years now. I've seen worked with hundreds, if not thousands of businesses at this point, and hundreds of HR managers, CEOs, CFOs, companies over the years. And in the area of employee benefits, seen how plans overlap, how all these problem situations come up. And I know a couple of tricks and tips on how to speed things up and explain to employees and to HR exactly what's going on in the background. I have had some situations where I get an account and the employer is left in the dark. They think things work one way when they actually work another. And I have found that if an employer truly understands their plans, if the employees truly understand their plans, it helps the situation quite a bit. Everybody knows insurance is not perfect. Insurance is a pain in the butt no matter what we do, it seems like. But there are ways to make it less painful. And that's what I'm here to try to do, is to make it less painful for everyone. So again, the introduction here is, let's pretend there's a delay in processing. This may be because, let's say you hired someone April 1st, you, the HR person, sent them their enrollment paperwork 2 weeks in, let's say April 15th. The employee dragged their feet. Maybe they didn't turn it in until the last day of April. And then May 1st comes and the employee says, I need my ID card, I need to pick up a prescription, I don't know what to do, or my wife needs a prescription, I didn't know, or one of my kids has an appointment coming up, I need access to an ID card. These things happen all the time. My point is, it might not even be the HR person's fault, not even the insurance company's fault. The employee is still unhappy. So here are some proactive steps we can take to ensure the process is done as quickly as possible, or that the employee can at least get their prescriptions they need, because that's the whole point of having insurance, right? Is to get access to care. And if you are paying for insurance and don't have access to care, it can be a very frustrating situation for the employee or for the members. So scenario one, let's say someone needs a prescription, but they are not in the system yet. The employee is enrolled, but not yet showing in the pharmacy system. Their application's been submitted, something like that, and they're just not showing up yet. And the prescription is expensive. It may not matter if it's expensive to you, it may be just expensive to the employee. Also, prescriptions are very expensive now. We have people go to the pharmacy all the time and get told that their prescription is now $500 when it used to be $50. That happens every day. So request samples. So the first thing an employee can do is go to their doctor and request samples. You have to be a little bit proactive here, so it doesn't always work out this way. But the best thing to do is when you do get the prescription, to ask your doctor for samples so you have some available if and when you need it. Many doctors can provide short-term samples, especially for brand name medications. Encourage employees to be proactive during their appointment. You can also try to call the doctor if you've already seen them and you're waiting for your prescription to be refilled. You can call the office and say, hey, can I come by and pick up some samples? I'm waiting for my new insurance to start and it would really help me out. Doctors do this also if somebody's going out of town. So if you're going out of town, something like that, you can ask, hey, it's going to be hard for me to get a hold of my prescription. Can I have some samples? Request an early refill on old coverage. So this is the one that you really have to have some forethought about before you cancel your old coverage. So let's say you had coverage with a prior employer or individual coverage or COBRA coverage through a prior employer up until May 1st. And up until May 1st, until your coverage cancels, you can call your insurance company or tell the pharmacy that you need an early refill before the end of the month because you're going out of town. You could be going out of town. You could be going on a vacation. There's a bunch of things you could be doing that may prevent you from being able to get your prescription exactly after the 30 days. So the way the pharmacy system works is you can't get your refill early. So before that 30-day mark, there may be a couple of days wiggle room, but they won't give you, like, let's say 2 weeks. They won't refill a 30-day prescription every 2 weeks. They will do it once every 6 months, usually, something like that. So if it's been more than 6 months since you've requested an early refill, if you're changing insurances, it will be a good idea to ask for an early refill if you can. Pay cash and then submit reimbursement later. So this is the route that most people have to take, because the prior to, they may not be in a situation where they can do that. They might be past the time where they may not have other coverage. It's probably already terminated, and two, their doctor may not give them samples, or it may not be a prescription that they can give samples on. So in that situation, they would have to pay cash or pay with a credit card and seek reimbursement later once the insurance is showing as active. So again, let's say we submitted all of the paperwork, all of the information to get an employee enrolled on May 1st. It's May 5th and they need a prescription right away, and they're just not in the system yet. Of course, we can submit a urgent processing request, get somebody enrolled. Some insurance companies are within 24 hours, some are within 3 days, 3 business days, which may be too long for some people. If that's too long, then the only remedy from there is to give the pharmacy a credit card and pay up front and then get reimbursed later, because the insurance will be backdated. So if they're going to have coverage starting May 1st, the insurance company will honor any claims that came in after May 1st. Even if you're not active in the system today, if you have a effective date May 1st and you get a prescription on May 5th, the insurance company will honor that claim. Some carriers allow out-of-pocket purchases to be reimbursed once coverage is active. Yes, they do. Encourage employees to save itemized receipts. Yes, of course, save your receipts so you can submit a claim. Also, some pharmacies will allow you to go back to that same pharmacy and get reimbursed directly from the pharmacy rather than going through your insurance company. So again, let's say you go in May 5th, you are not showing active in the system, you use your credit card, the next day you go back in and you say, hey, my insurance is showing active now, can you reprocess the claim? Some pharmacies will say yes. Some pharmacies will give you up to a week to go back and they will redo the claim and get you reimbursed. So keep that in mind too. That's a nice little cheat. Scenario 2, specialist visit needed but no ID card yet. So somebody needs to go to a specialist, needs to go see a doctor, they don't have their ID card, they're not active in the system yet. Employee has an urgent need to see a specialist, but provider cannot verify coverage. We sometimes can call and talk to the doctor's office and let them know that we have the enrollment form, we have all the information, they have a new job, the ID card is not available yet. The employee can tell the doctor, especially if they have a relationship with this doctor. If it's your first time seeing this doctor, it can be really tough. But if you've been seeing this doctor, let's say for 20 years or for 10 years, 5 years, a lot of doctor's offices will give you a pass and say, okay, just call us when you get your new ID card. We'll process it then. We'll hold off on submitting the claim. But if they won't do that, you can provide a group number. Oftentimes we have a group number for a group. That's the first thing we get. We set up a group with an insurance plan and we get what's called a group number. So we'll have the group number. We won't necessarily have the ID number until the employee is enrolled. We can give a social security number, or the employee can give the social security number as a temporary ID, but many doctor's offices do want to call and verify that coverage is active at the time of the service. So if that's not available, Some doctors still won't see you. They want you to be paid up front. HR can give the employee a letter confirming enrollment or provide a temporary ID card if available. This isn't always available, especially with medical plans. Can be available with dental and vision. I've seen that with some dental plans, like MetLife has a generic ID card that they give out to all of their employers. And it doesn't even have the employee's ID number on there. It's just a generic card that an employee prints out. They don't even make custom cards anymore, especially vision plans. But when it comes to medical, this isn't always available, especially for smaller groups. Some carriers have member portals, apps where digital ID cards are accessible. So another scenario might be is they're in the system, but the employee just needs an ID card. Some employees need a printed paper copy of an ID card. They feel as though if they don't have that, they don't have coverage. In this case, if they haven't received it in the mail yet, but they're in the system, they can go online to their insurance company's member portal, register, and download a copy and print it out. That is the next best thing in that scenario. Pay out of pocket for the visit and submit for reimbursement later. This is also an option similar to the prescription drug. You just go to the visit. You honor the visit, you know you have coverage. It sucks to put things on a credit card or pay out of pocket and get reimbursed later. It's more paperwork for you. It's a pain trying to track that money back down, but it is an option. Ask the provider to bill later. So we talked about that, especially if you have a relationship with the doctor's office. Many of them will hold billing until you received your ID card if you talk to them directly. Scenario 3, employee going to the ER or urgent care. Emergency care is needed before the employee is in the system. If you have an emergency, just go. Just go to the emergency room. They have to see you. It's law. They can't turn you away because you don't have an ID card. You go and you tell them you're waiting for your ID card, and as soon as you get it, you give it to them. And as soon as you get it, they process the claim. They kind of have to. That's how it goes with the emergency room. Now with urgent care, it's not so easy for the emergency room. It says under the ACA, emergency services must be covered regardless of network status or system delays. Provide the group name until the hospital billing department insurance is pending, or that you're waiting for your ID card, and as soon as you get it, you'll send it to them and they'll say yes, and they have to see you. Use carriers 24/7 nurse line if available. Many plans do have a telemedicine access that you can access, but if you're not in the system, they probably won't see you, so that wouldn't be an option. Be sure to communicate with your HR and your broker. Let them know that you need urgent services and see what can be done, see what we can do, see what your HR person has access to. Sometimes you're in the system and the ID card is on its way and you, the employee, don't know that you're already in the system. You've just been waiting for your ID card in the mail. And either the ID card went to the wrong mailbox, it got accidentally thrown away. Maybe we have your ID card. We just have to email it to you, a digital copy. That's usually what happens. Usually what happens is if somebody's recently enrolled, they're already in the system, they just don't have their ID card yet, we can usually download it, email it right over to you. That's the best case scenario, and that's usually what happens. Tips for employees: keep a copy of your enrollment confirmation, know your group's plan number and carrier contact information, communicate with your doctor and pharmacy early. Don't be afraid to ask for help from your HR department. So your HR's role in this is going to be proactively provide temporary ID cards or letters of coverage when available. Train HR staff to handle benefit-related calls with empathy and solutions. Being extremely empathetic, yes, I understand, that must be really hard. It is hard. It is extremely frustrating for people that, one, don't understand the process and the system. Two, they're afraid. They're scared they're going to be stuck with a bill that they don't want to be stuck with. They're afraid their coverage isn't going to work. It's a new coverage. It's a new company. There's a lot of changes going on in this person's life. So be empathetic. Partner with your broker and your insurance carriers to escalate these situations early and as often as needed. So hopefully you found that useful. If you have any questions, please reach out to me directly. I do have a link down below. I can offer one-time free consultation to evaluate your employee benefits if you want to know if your employee benefits are up to par to today's standards, or if any of your processes are out of whack, if you need advice on that, I'm available for that as well. Please reach out to me there. Thank you for hanging out until the end, and we will see you next time.